Day number 3, If My People Pray, a week of prayer to obtain knowledge and understanding of present-day events through prophecy. The wise will understand. Submit yourselves therefore unto God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Draw nigh to God, he will draw nigh to you. Submit yourselves therefore unto God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Draw nigh to God, he will draw nigh to you. James chapter 4, 7 and 8. Day number 3, If My People Pray. James chapter 4, verses 7 to 10. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Be afflicted, and mourn, and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. God promises are conditional upon obedience. First condition, let us draw nigh to God. Second condition, let us cleanse our hands, as we are all sinners. Third condition, let's purify our hearts, as we are all double-minded. Fourth condition, let us be afflicted, mourn, and weep. Fifth condition, let our laughter turn to mourning. Sixth condition, our joy to heaviness. Seventh condition, let us humble ourselves in the sight of the Lord. And the result will be, he will draw nigh to us, and he shall lift us up. Day number 3, the agenda for the morning session. The only way to understand present-day world events is by studying the prophecy, and it will increase your faith in God. Prophecy is usually understood at the time of its fulfillment. Day number 3, if my people pray. Season of prayers, gathering small groups, and submitting ourselves therefore unto God, drawing nigh to God, and he will draw nigh unto us. Day number 3, the agenda for the morning session. The only way to understand present-day world events, history, and prophecy are good teachers. We recommend that you read Daniel chapter 11 and discover the king of the north and the king of the south. Daniel the prophet was a government advisor under two main powers in history, Babylon and Middle Persia. The seasons of prayer with small groups, asking the Lord to bless us as we cleanse our hand, purify our heart, be afflicted, mourn, and weep, and he will draw nigh to us. Testimonies for the Church, Volume 9, page 11, and Prophets and Kings, page 537. The world is stirred with the spirit of war. The prophecy of the 11th chapter of Daniel has nearly reached its complete fulfillment. Soon the scenes of trouble spoken of in the prophecies will take place. The present is a time of overwhelming interest to all living. Rulers and statesmen, men who occupy positions of trust and authority, thinking men and women of all classes, have their attention fixed upon the events taking place about us. They are watching the relations that exist among the nations. They observe the intensity that is taking possession of every earthly element, and they recognize that something great and decisive is about to take place, that the world is on the verge of a stupendous crisis. The calamities by land and sea, the unsettled state of society, the alarms of war are portentous. They forecast approaching events of the greatest magnitude. The agencies of evil are combining their forces and consolidating, and they are strengthening for the last great crisis. Great changes are soon to take place in our world, and the final movements will be rapid ones. In chapter 11 of the book of Daniel, we are introduced to the king of the north and the king of the south. And in order to understand who are these two kings, we need to keep the context on Israel. What is the enigma of Daniel chapter 11? We are giving you the link here for your perusal. The king of the north and the king of the south are not an enigma, but the long-lasting biblical conflict between Shem and Abraham's descendants till now is the enigma. Thus said the Lord of hosts in Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 35, Behold, I will break the bow of Elam, the chief of their might. In the Bible, the word Elam appears several times from Genesis to the book of Acts chapter 2 verse 9. Elam, as we saw, was one of the sons of Shem, Noah's son. Genesis chapter 10 verse 22 give us that information. In Genesis chapter 14, a battle is recorded between Abraham, who is Arphaxad's descendant in history, and a confederation of kings. Chedorlaomer was listed as the king of Elam, who took part of the battle against Sodom, Gomorrah, and Zoar, involving Lot. The prophet Daniel was in Shusham, in the province of Elam, when he had a vision, according to Daniel chapter 8, verse 2. Elam is an ancient geographical location mentioned in the Bible. Today, it would be mainly in Iran, with a small section in Iraq and Turkey. It bordered with the ancient Babylonian Empire. The actual location of Elam would be the very northern end of the Persian Gulf and down along with the west coast of Iran. One of the main sections of ancient Elam would include Bushehr province, with the capital city of Bushehr. On a map of the Persian Gulf, Bushehr would be directly across from Kuwait. Right now, Elam, Iran, is a fierce enemy of Israel and wants to wipe Israel off the map. Literally, a nuclear reactor sits in Elam for the purpose of destroying Israel. Elam, the Arab nations including Turkey, is Israel's most dangerous enemy. Daniel 11, a present-day application. The Middle East, Israel, and the West. Daniel chapter 10, verse 14. Now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days, for the vision is yet future. A brief history of modern Middle East conflict. We give you the links for your perusal. The modern history of the Middle East began after the end of World War I. Following the war to end all wars, the Ottoman Empire that had ruled the Middle East for 400 years came to an end. The Ottoman Empire of the Turks had at various times ruled from the Middle East to Persia and from North Africa to southeastern Europe. The empire was in decline by 1914, and its defeat came at the end of World War I in 1918. With the breakup of the old empire, a number of new nations were created by Britain and France and approved by the newly formed League of Nations. These nations include Iraq, Lebanon, Kuwait, Syria, Transjordan, and Turkey. Egypt was a British protectorate and became independent in 1922. In the upcoming study, on day number 3, we will include a question and an answer. Who will wield the scepter? Day number 3, the agenda for the morning and afternoon session, continuing. The only way to understand present-day world's events is by studying the secondary and primary application of prophecy. We recommend the book of Daniel, chapter 12, and the days 1260, 1290, and 1335. The book of Daniel was written for those unto whom the end of the world has come. Again, our season of prayers in small groups, and let us draw nigh to God, and He will draw nigh to us. Daniel chapter 12, 666, the mark of the beast, the Sunday law, and the death decree. Daniel chapter 12 contains 3 timelines: 1260, 1290, and 1335 days. These charts will be explained as we continue our study of the book of Daniel, chapter 11 and chapter 12 on this third day. We would like to attract your attention to World War II strategic warfare, organization of the field forces, World War II. During World War II, the German operational doctrine emphasized sweeping movements which were meant to destroy the enemy forces as quickly as possible. This approach, referred to as Blitzkrieg, has been considered by many historians as having ancient prototypes practiced by Alexander the Great and Napoleon, and we give you here the link for your perusal. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Lucifer uses the same operational doctrine as Hitler and other army leaders, emphasizing sweeping movements meant to destroy every soul. As expressed in Daniel chapter 11, verse 24, he shall forecast his devices against the strongholds even for a time. With his army of fallen angels and human beings which have formed an alliance with him, Satan will attempt to deceive the very elect to the very time of the end. Our only safety is found in the work of Christ and the judgment in the most holy place. Submit yourselves therefore unto God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Draw nigh to God, he will draw nigh to you. Submit yourselves therefore unto God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Draw nigh to God, he will draw nigh to you. James chapter 4, 7 and 8.